Hey, welcome back. Again, it's the Digital Poker Felt. If it's your first time tuning in, I'm Fingers, your host. And this week, I've been bad about getting new content to you, so I apologize for the tardiness. I've been busy playing live poker, so haven't been home as much to play online. Even got the second shot of the vaccine, so wasn't feeling so hot yesterday. I was a little tired. As you notice, it's not no limit hold'em. I've gotten into a pot limit Omaha high low game, and I flopped the nut flush. So while I've got that, let's bet it up. There is no flush or low draw on this yet. Let's just bet a small amount. We want to keep some people in to chase a bad back or a bad low. Let's see, so somebody with an ace deuce might stick around if they're a loose player. So there's the ace. So now somebody with a 2-3. I've got a 3, so that lowers the chances maybe a 2-5. Let's make the pot big now and punish the people for chasing. Personally, I love Omaha high-low, but I think this game plays so much better. Possible full house out there. Let's check it. Make it look like we missed a low draw. Yeah, we take it down. As I was saying, I prefer Omaha high-low as a limit game. That's how I think it should be played. But this site only offers it up as pot limit. I just jumped into a one-table tournament. This is not deep stack. This is not multi-table. This is just going to be this one game, this one table for all of your content needs for this week. Again, I apologize that I've been tardy and letting you down. I'm out of position here, even though double suited and a low. Let's be wild. Be stupid. Make your video entertaining for you. As I probably bust out because I do stupid things. One of the tournaments I played in earlier this week, and we totally whiff. The tournament early this week was a horse tournament that took place over at Derby Lane. And I believe it was the first horse tournament to ever take place in Florida, so I had to be there for that. $200 buy-in. Fold, that's easy fold. And so horse, if you're one of these no limit hold'em guys and you don't know what the other variations of poker are or don't know what horse is, if you're coming into this just trying to learn how to play poker and you're not familiar what horse is the acronym. H is for Hold'em, O is for Omaha High-Low, R is for Raz, S is for 7-card stud, and then the E is for 7-card stud 8 or better. And they're all played as a limit variation. And I think overall, if I remember correctly, I believe it was 59 people actually showed up for the first ever. Made it to the final table. I want to say that I won it. But technically, the last 3 of us that were at the final table, we chopped it up 3-way. And that way I was able to get out of there, I want to say at a decent hour, but I guess decent is subjective. Since it was close to 3, I didn't get to bed till 4, I had to be up at like 9 o'clock in the morning to get my second dose of the Pfizer vaccine stuff. So we managed to, all 3 of us, make better than second place money by chopping it that way, and I was totally exhausted the next day. Getting the vaccination did not help with tiredness after that. So my week's been wrecked. Last night I was planning on getting into another super deep, the Crazy Eights tournament that was going on. Last night I even looked into it. I just did not have the energy. Again, I apologize. Getting back to the people. Straight flush I would have had if I had played a little worse. Speaking of straight flushes, the Omaha, not Omaha, this is Omaha. The horse tournament, I did manage to back into a straight flush, a gut shot to a straight flush during 7-card stud, so that's what really kept me in the tournament, really fattened up my stack and sent me on. When we got down to like 3 tables, I had a guy on my right to the table they had just moved me to, and I'm just paying attention to him and learning real quick. Again, Omaha high low, ace deuce. Don't leave home without it. Although we're not double suited, let's play it nice and slow. So the guy on my, I think I said left earlier, on my right, he didn't seem to know how to play any of the games, even though he had made it that far into the tournament. He kept asking what the stakes were, how to play, everything. So of course I put a target on his head. Crappy 2-pair. Again, we're playing Omaha. Don't overvalue 2 pairs and 3 of a kinds. Now there's also a low out there, so now we might get bluffed by a low. But we'll take one off. If he has ace 5, he's got the wheel and the low. And he did. He set me up for the... he wanted me to bet it on the river. Again, if it's your first time visiting these videos I'm putting out, these are just very low stake tournaments. These are not super buy-in deep whatevers. Just playing around, experimenting online when I'm not at the poker rooms themselves. If you missed it on Fingers, again, I'm in the Tampa Bay area, so there are a number of card rooms around here. We're going to put in a little bit of a bluff here, since we've got a crappy low and a crappy high. I guess in Hold'em you would define this as betting with the low, the lowest of your range. I had a backdoor flush draw, backdoor, or not backdoor, I had a double gutter, or not double gutter, a runner for Broadway. Well, I guess a 10 would have made the 8, 9, 10 Jack Queen. So there was a gut shot there. Just kidding. It was a bluff. It was a joke. Not calling there. Let's focus more on talking to you right now. I can just fold some of these crappy hands instead of trying to get tricky. As I said, I put a target on this one guy's head just because I figured out that he was the weakest link at that table. And by the time we made it down to 2 tables, we were in Omaha high-low. Exactly what we're playing now, what I'm playing now for you, but of course it was the real way where it was played limit, not this pot limit, Omaha high-low. See, pot limit should just be for Omaha high. Again, subjective, my opinions, take them with a grain of salt. You feel differently, leave me a comment down below. Again, you can leave any type of comments, join the Digital Poker Tribe, get in on the action, review what you think I did wrong here, tell me what you've done wrong recently. You can even share your bad beats. I may not answer your bad beats because nobody likes a bad beat. You know, what you should do is get in the habit of what I'm about to do is tell you where you put bad beats on other people. That's funnier, and that makes really good players like the Phil Hellmuth of the world vomit in their mouth. So, with the Omaha high-low, I had, I think, like a 2-3 or 2-4 in my hand. It was like a crappy low, all low cards, but I was on the button. I had the target in the big blind. It was a single big blind. I raise, he calls, flop comes out where I had a low draw. The board was like queen high though, so there were 2 low cards. I've got my baby cards, so I've got this low going on. He checks to me, I bet. He's short stacked, so he shoves all in. Oh no, he didn't shove all in yet. He just called, which again was the other thing, that he wasn't playing aggressive enough with the hands that he did have to really try and move people. Again, it's limit, but the blinds were getting big. You could do some damage. But he let himself get whittled down because he would call, fold on the river, do dumb things like that in a limit game. So he just called there. On the turn, this is when the action really happened, I managed to secure my low. And it wasn't the best low, it wasn't the nut low, but it was a damn good one where I was fairly sure, heads up against him, that I had the low locked in. I very much doubted that he could beat it. But the beauty is that the turn card also gave me a flush draw. So at that point he checks to me again. I bet he raises, goes all in. Again, we're Omaha high low. We do not have the full house. For those of you not familiar with this game, we only have 3 of a kind. Somebody possibly has the flush, but for 30 bucks, I'm gonna call. What did he have? Oh, he actually had the boat, yeah. Okay, so that was just it. This guy waited to shove all of his chips in. He had pocket jacks in the hole. There's a queen out there, there's a low out there. My other 2 cards, which I had forgotten, I realized I had the low, I realized I had the flush draw. I did not realize that I actually was working on 2 flush draws. So I was free rolling twice, where I thought I was only free rolling 1 time. So I backed into the flush that I didn't see on the river, and it just totally blew his mind. He grabbed all of his stack. Shortly thereafter, lost a few more players between the 2 tables. We were down to the final table. It was an excellent tournament. It was done very well. And if they have another one going on anytime soon, I will definitely be there. I really enjoyed it. And again, nothing against No Limit Hold'em, but it does somewhat get boring after a while. And everybody's always playing it. It just, everybody's studying it. So some of these mixed games, like what I'm providing for you today, just get out of your comfort zone, experiment with these every now and then, and if you learn how to play these other games, whether it's Limit Hold'em, Limit Omaha High-Low, Pot Limit Omaha, anything along those lines, when you start to learn them, get better at them, I truly believe that it will improve your no limit hold'em game when you get back to it. Just try it. Again, if you do terrible at these games, if you don't learn these games, yeah, I don't think it's going to improve your no limit hold'em. So definitely work on these. It'll make you, again, if you've got 4 cards in front of you, you're trying to scoop a pot, you want to win the high and the low if possible. Don't just chase after one. It makes you think. You're dealing with so many different combinations between the 4 cards that can be used in 2, 2, 2, 2, you know, just lining them up. You must play 2 in your hand, 3 on the board when playing Omaha, whether high or high-low. Again, I'm assuming if you're coming to this channel that you probably know how to play poker, but again, if someone stumbled in and this is your first time, you're trying to learn the game, that's why I put it out there, and I apologize to anyone else who I'm too rudimentary or fundamental sharing this with you. Let's see. Something else cool from the horse tournament. We were at the final table. I did pull off a fairly decent bluff when we were in, it was Omaha High-Low. Again, I love this game. This is my favorite. There was another guy at the final table that every time it came around, he screamed out, "This is my game! This is..." And I was like, no. All of my friends say that we should change the name of this game to Fingers Wins. but he didn't know that, and I didn't bother to tell him. Let's see, I believe I was in the cutoff. Yeah, I was in the cutoff, Omaha high-low, and the flop came out King, Queen, Jack, all hearts. Now, I knew guys in Hold'em talk about blockers all the time. Blockers are no more relevant than in Omaha, really relevant in Omaha, especially because you need 2 cards in your hand to make the flush. I only had the ace of hearts, but again, being a blocker, with checks around to the button, he makes the bet. It's a limit bet. So he had to have the ace jack in his hand there for the flush. So everybody checks around to him. He bets what looks like a possible Broadway. There's 3 big hearts out there, so it could be nut flush, it could be royal flush, all these type of hands. Button bets it. Everybody folds around to me. Me having the ace of hearts, I put in the raise, even though I don't have the flush, just because I know he can't have the nuts. So he calls. The turn card, I believe, was like an 8, but it was not a heart. Even if it were another heart, it wouldn't matter if somebody either has the flush or doesn't in a game like this. So the 8 comes off. So now there's no low. Let's see. Let's get a little loosey-goosey here. He just calls my turn bet. So now I'm just on outright bluff mode. I have to keep the action going. I have to keep selling the story. The river comes off a 5. I bet again. He goes into the tank forever on a limit game. Did somebody re-raise? What's going on? Oh, he's taking time to figure out whether or not to call one more bet. So he goes in the tank. He goes, that's the worst card. So he must have had at least 3 of a kind. He must have been chasing like a full house on a board like that. I at least had like backup low draws, so he couldn't have been on any kind of low draw with 3 big cards like that on the flop. The only thing that makes sense is either he had a baby flush, which by his comments on the river do not make sense. We have a gut shot to the 9. Well, actually, it would take us to the 10 if a 7. Oh, he bet pot. I missed that. Let's just get out of the way. He's in a hurry to get out of here. I start calling bets like that, and the video's going to be over before you know it. Let's see, then I would have had open-ended now. There's 2 clubs out there. And can't remember what I've gotten there. I needed the 7, I know. What did he call off with? I don't recall. One of the bad things about these online sites, it happens way too fast. Let's see. Hand history, hand replayer. He might be in the shovey mood right now. He raised originally. Let's see if he calls that bet. And he does. My hand's not that great. Let's get out of the way. Yeah, he had these deuce. I would have had the 4-6 for the low. Yeah, the 6-4 where he had an 8-5. The only thing there's 2 things I dislike about this hand right here is that I have 3 suited cards instead of double suited, and that I have a 9. This 9, if it hit 2, a 3, a 5, even 6, 7. Let's not deal with the dangling 9s. In Omaha high-low, again, you can play those 6, 7, 8, 9 type hands in Omaha high. You can chase those middling straights, those suited connector type of hands. But here, again, we want really big cards for the high, we want really low cards for the low. The 9 doesn't quantify or qualify as a low. So again, an 8, at least 8 high, you're in that low category. The 4 and the 8, though, you're chasing a crappy low. Let's see, Queen for Broadway with a backdoor flush. Look at that, I can at least analyze the hands that I folded of what I could have made. I could be one of those guys. So yeah, with the 5 coming off, I did manage to pull off an Omaha high-low limit bluff. 3 bullets. The check raise on the flop, and bullet after that. Too early position. Again, Omaha, you got to really pay attention to your position, especially if they're doing a pot limit where they're all trying to cram their chips in pre-flop and play bingo. We're 3rd out of 9th. I believe this tournament being a little sit and go should pay. Let's see. I think, what did this cost me? $5 to get in. So it probably pays out close to $15. Oh no, wait. Probably close to $25, $22, $25 for first place. Again, still experimenting, playing around with these low stake tournaments, just providing you content and giving me stress release. This tournament's actually lasting longer than I thought. Again, I thought this was going to be something quick and easy that I could pull off for you. That wouldn't be an all-day part 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Self-contained. And again, earlier about the digital poker felt becoming part of the tribe, making your comments. To really become part of the tribe, make sure you subscribe. Last video series I did, you know, everybody's always saying, make sure to subscribe to this channel and click the bell for notifications. And I told people on the video, I said, don't bother clicking on the bell. I said, I don't get what the bell's for. I had other people contacting me going, no, they need to click the bell for notifications. Again, I don't get it. I've never clicked notifications on any of the channels I'm subscribed to. I don't know why it's actually necessary. I don't miss anything. I at least have the flush draw here. It's counterfeited my low, making me a crappy low. So I don't want to get too out of line. Well, I actually have 2 pair though. I could boat up. Let's keep it somewhat a smaller bet. That way if we do back into the nuts, we can win a bigger pot. But there is a possible low out there already. So more than likely we're already splitting this with somebody. Now we at least have position. Getting those 2 guys out. I do not have a second flush draw to go with it. Why the delay? Is he betting that for, let's see, 550? Alright, let's call and see what happens on the river. Alright, we got the nut flush at least. Maybe he had picked up a double flush draw. And maybe he's got diamonds too. Or he's got the low. He had the low and he had the other flush draw. A bit too big to get that guy out. Maybe he should have checked to let him shove. We could have both snapped him off. Chopped up all that money right there. Again, 9s. They're a pair of nines. Again, pairs don't... They're not the greatest in this game. You want to really... I would have to hit the 9 and hit perfect. Let's see what's going on. That's why even if you have aces or kings, don't get too crazy and carried away in this game. You want to see flops. You want to see what's going on. Oh, knocked out 2 players. If I just sit back, you can eliminate the rest of them. I'll take second place. I don't care. Just give me money. Alright, we're out of position. We don't have any suited. And we just have a pair of aces. We got a lousy low. So high, high, bad low. I do not want to super inflate this pot. I want to be able to get away from it out of position if I have to. But I'm definitely going to see the flop at least. Alright, normally in a hold'em game, you could bet the 3 here to represent because you're in the blinds. Because of people playing low cards though in this game, for the low draw, it's quite easy for this guy in late position to have a 3, like an ace 3. I've got 2 of the aces, but he could have the 2-3, the 3-4. Again, I don't want to mess around and get crazy. That's just, I have the jack, but I don't have the 3. Again, if I'm being too nitty, let me know down below in the comments. Broadway with a crappy low. They're going to let me in cheap. Let's see it from the button. Alright, top 2. Possible. Very wet though. Flush draw, straight draws, low draws. Betting the min. So I believe he's on the low draw come. Now he's got his low draw. He's probably going to inflate it now. No. Maybe they're both on the low. Imagine if they only both have the low and I quarter them with this stupid 10-8. And that's probably what he suspected. Or he got backed into a low or a straight draw. Jack 9 maybe? And he had the low? Oh, he's back in business from his short stack. Okay, I got at least a suited 5-8 to go with my jacks. Nope. See, if this were at least limit Omaha high-low, I'd peel for the 1 raise. Because then he could only go to 100, I'd peel. On the flop, he could only make a 1 bet into me, and I could still just call or choose to raise at that point. But it's much more structured. Again, for those backing into this that are unfamiliar with limit games, if they never grew up with limit games, if they never had to play limit games, what happens is the big blind is the bet. Pre-flop, post-flop, and you usually can put in 4. You know, if somebody raises, re-raises, etc., there's 4. Caps 4. That's where you get the terminology of 3 bets and stuff like that. In no limit hold'em is from the days of limit hold'em. So what happens by the time you get to the turn and river, it then doubles. Alright, I limped in. I could definitely have a 3 here more often than he does. I have the flush draw at least as a backup. Unless, of course, he's got the 3-4 and nails the full house. But my range right there, limping in, even without a raise in this game, that was much more in my range of limping in with a low draw. I mean, very similar to this. So again, if you're new to the game, unfamiliar with limit, uh, turn and river are the big bets, where it's double the big blind on those betting streets. No low draw at all. The 9 kind of crapped that out. So what I've seen a lot of times with people unfamiliar, not only thinking they've made flushes in this game when they only have 1 in their hand, but quite often they know that there's low draws. So they try and make a low hand, but they forget that the 8, it has to qualify as 8 or better. It's almost like they approach the game like it's Raz, which is the other, out of horse, the other variations of the games. The ones that I really love out of that game, I mean, Hold'em's Hold'em. Even if you play no limit Hold'em at this point, I'm going to represent a bigger hand than I have. At this point, you know, if you know how to play no limit Hold'em to a varying degree, you know how to play limit. You're just restricted on the betting structure. Omaha high-low, I'm showing you what that is today. Raz is a 7-card stud game that plays backwards. You try and make the worst hand. Flushes, straights, stuff like that do not count for or against you. They, is 4, I've got the low locked up. And I got 2 pair. Let's see if that holds. If I remember correctly, he was Mr. Aggressive. Oh, no. Okay, so Raz, you could make a queen low. You could make a 9 low. You could make, again, you're just trying to make the crappiest hand. You don't want pairs. You don't want big cards. You want ace through 5, even though in most other games it's the wheel. In that game, it's a 5 high. Straight possible out there. Let's just put out 1 bet and see what happens. There is a low draw, so we might get somebody to come along with that. If we hit a king on the turn, that's the opposite of a king. Now the 2-3 got there on the low. Somebody had a straight. They already, or they still have the straight if they have 2. Well, I got 2 pair. Let's see, a 10. It's betting half pot. Let's peel against the low draw. It'll look like I have the low. And I bowed it up. If he's got the low, he's still gonna bet. Give him a chance to bluff. Does he have ace 10? No. He did have the low, and he had another high hand, but it just wasn't good enough against the boat. Alright, double suited. We got the ace king, got the ace 4. Those damn 9s, so. And that guy loves to shove his stack. Let's keep it small for now. Unless he wants to get out of line. Could he have the ace deuce? Could he have pocket aces? We got the nut flush. We got the low draw. Let's just put them to the test. Come on, flush. Yep. There we go. See, I told you this is a much more enjoyable game. 10s with a low. Min raise. Oh, one of the other things I noticed about this site, and again, I am not promoting this site. I know a lot of other poker people out there get affiliate links and or paid backdoor from things like that. I am not promoting it. I'm not a sponsor of this site. And I shared it in the last video series that the only reason I'm playing on this is A, I was able to get money into it. B, I didn't have to download software. I'm just running it through a simple Safari browser on my Mac. Crappy low, but we got position. Let's make it a little bigger. That guy seems to not be doing well up here. Alright, we got the 2-6. Do I want to chase a 2-6 now to a bet that size? I don't have the clubs. Nope. Oh, I didn't put a drink around here in case if I start losing my voice. Alright, another high only hand. He's got the button this time position on me. Let's see what he does. No. Alright, this time we got the open-ended. Let's just keep it nice. Well, I guess that's a little bigger than half pot. I thought I was going for a small bet there until I looked up and saw what the pot size was. I hate how this site does this to my browser though. It keeps telling me that it's using up too much energy. We've been getting a little out of line. Let's let the big stack battle with these other guys. Get us to the money. Watch, after this whole thing, me giving you this whole video, we're going to get down to like 4 and I'm going to go out 4th place. Again, my motto lately, go deep, go broke. I need a t-shirt that says that. Although yesterday, even though I was feeling crappy, early on in the day I did go over to the horse track, their card room, and play in their No Limit Hold'em tournament. Oh, bought in twice. It just went badly both times. Alright, we're down to 4, so here's where I go bust, so that way I don't get money. Oh, beautiful high hand only. And of course he raises me. Not bad so far. He could have the low draw. But I'm just going to, like I said, go broke here. He could have 5. Could he have the ace 5? Could he have an ace 7? Yes. Again, people, you do not have a full house here. Yeah, 3 of a kind, and he had, 6 had, did I get quartered or anything? No, he had ace 3 for the low. The unfortunate part of games like this, when you start getting short-handed in the tournaments, quite often you keep chopping the pot, so it's harder to eliminate somebody. The blinds go up, then they crucify you. Double paired. This guy at least knows how to fold. Oh. The guy that I expected to call folded. The guy that I expected to fold called. go for the bet that I made earlier that made the other guy fold, see if it works on this guy. No, of course not. So he possibly already has the low sewed up. He could even have a boat at this point with his low. We might actually be good here with the queens, and he takes the low. Yep. Let's just min raise the chip leader. Now we've got position. Alright, on a board like this you might think it looks good, but in reality the ace counterfeited us, so we're still drawing to the 4 or the 6, but represent, and it works because we were the pre-flop raiser. He seems to be a fairly decent player, so he can read the ranges, he knows how to fold. He seems to be the weakest link so far. Since he's bad, let's just give him a small pot. Keep him short stacked. And outplay him when we know we have him. You should bet there. $300 and $450. Oh. Well, hopefully you take him out and we're in the money. If you were bluffing, you got your hand caught. Yep. See, I didn't want to heal him up. I want to keep him short. But now I guess we got too short. That's actually somewhat better. Alright. Button raise. Now he's got to worry about his short stack because they're almost even. Or at least he should be thinking that way. And he should be less inclined to tangle with me with two short stacks. He doesn't want to wind up getting damaged and going out before them. Alright, I've got an ace deuce in my hand. I'm going to pot it. Let's just put him. Told you I'll go bust in fourth place. Low. No, not even the low. Well, I said ace deuce, don't leave home without it. That time I should have. That's exactly what I didn't want to happen. Now I'm getting down there. Alright, somebody with an ace deuce has been counterfeited, so my 3-4 might be good. I've also got the gut shot to the jack high straight. He's still scared of going broke, so that's good. Let's see, let's go back up to our little raise. This seems to be effective against these guys. Alright, let's go with the flush draw. There we go. And he got the low, damn it. First I blinked, I thought I had an 8-9. Again, these are the type of hands you have to play very carefully in this game. Crappy low draw. That's gonna put me down at his range if I get snapped off. There we go. Actually managed to take some chips off the chip leader for a change instead of healing up a short stack. Alright, we're not playing that game again. Keep the short stack short. Now heads up again, a pair of aces or double pairs, they do play better. We know this guy's a much worse player, so let's put him in. Let's take a rest on the button this hand. Why would you just... The whole point is to keep him short, not heal him up. Ooh, I got a call out of the short stack. That's not good. He's got to have something decent. Last time he did that, he had a flush draw and the low draw. If he has the ace deuce, he has a much better low draw than I do. Let's not try that. Like him, if I go chasing the draw and I miss, not only do I not win half the pot, I lose it all. Now everybody's starting to get into that middling evening out instead of having some short stacks. He's starting to learn how to fold. I don't know if that's good or bad. Could mean he's tightening up, getting better. So we got to be more aware, more leery when he does raise and shove. Now see, this is one of those areas where we have the blocker to the nut flush. I don't know in a $5 game if they're good enough. What am I chasing at this point? He probably already has the... Let's... Don't be stupid. One of the better players at the table. quit giving him chips. Especially when I have position on him like now. I'm gonna call that gin. Even though it wasn't. It was just a soda water. Alright. Some possibilities here, but not to a raise. Disguise my hand here. Again, I'm out of position. We've got the ace-5 for the low. So an ace-3 beats us. We got backdoor flush draw, front door flush draw. This is where we go broke. Now we got 2 flush draws. We got 2 pair. Our low has been counterfeited. And now we do have the wheel and the flush. Let's just might be able to quarter him on this. Yep. Well, that puts him down in their level, so now he's trying to get a little more aggressive. We could actually make the good guy the short stack. Let's see, what would hurt him most? Let's go 600. Alright, now they are both around the same size. Again, I hate that little message. Keeps adjusting the size. Alright, so if we call 400, yeah, why not? Off to the races. We got a pair, we got a low draw. Let's just put him in for his chips. Did I quarter him again? Yeah. Again, I'm sure if you've made it this deep into the tournament, you actually know how to play Omaha high-low, but in case you haven't, you find this interesting, you're new to the game, quartering is when one of the players wins both the high and low, and the other person only wins one or the other. They've kind of tied on one of them, so you're only basically getting back 25% of everything you put in. I'm not even going to bluff this. We still need one player to go out to be in the money. He's shorter, so he should fold to me. Alright, let's him all in if we have to. This is where it really turns into bingo. Alright, he didn't shove. Alright, we got the open-ended. He's hanging in there. See, this would play well heads up against him. Off to the races. He's got the deuce. Ooh, boat. Chop it. That's got to be frustrating the hell out of him right now. A little over. Yeah. I'm just going to call. Oh, I thought he was going to come along too. Increase our odds of getting rid of him. He's got the flush, I got the low. Huh. Nice. In the money. Now these guys are going to start being able to play again. Well, I think it's actually good that I finally provide you with a video where I've cashed. Let's see, straight draws, flush draws, low draws. I've only got top two. Let's check the six. It's quite possible he had one of those. Now this is a boat in Omaha high-low. And the low draw did not get there. Maybe he thinks I was on a draw and I'm bluffing. No. Much more rare to be bluffing here, because there's so many different combinations of hands that you actually can make. Let's make it 500. I want to try and take a third of his stack if I can. Yet he's the one that calls me. We got a crappy low. We got one pair. Alright. I want to play that. I got two pair and a crappy low. You got both. He does overplay those pocket aces in this game, though. Let's get out of the way this time. Be even better, I guess, for the video series if I could provide you with a video where I take first place. I mean, at least I did not go out in fourth. So we're on the verge where quite possibly I could provide you with content where it looks like I almost know what I'm doing. Oh, that counterfeited our low. And I still win. So as I said, when you get heads up like this, a lot of the pots are going to chop, so I'm trying not to even inflate. Limp in big, even Even if I had an ace deuce here, I would limp in. I try and disguise my hand more than getting involved in huge pots. Too many things out there beat me. I think I'm more afraid of the 2-3 on that last board than I was the ace. Locked up the low, then he got the 6-high straight. Alright, he's ahead of me in chips now. Maybe I'm doing this wrong. Maybe I should treat it more like hold'em. Maybe I should raise every button. Let's take a stab at it. See what happens. He's got the low. So he's going to bet his low. Or he thinks I have the low and he has the 6. Loose call. He takes it all. So again, for the first caching video, it is quite possible I'll only take second place. Making calls like that. Lead the low draw. Have the 2-4? We'll find out. This is where I go broke. Or he's got the flush. Alright, is my 2-6 good enough for half? No, of course not. Oh no. It was. Thought he had a 3-4 in his hand. Is there a 3 on the board that counterfeited it? Alright. Slow down and stop trying to bluff him. He's the unbluffable. Our hands were about even there. Uh-oh, he's folding some of his buttons to me. So he's definitely tightening up, trying to put the last little harpoon in my back. Alright, maybe a little too nitty there. Make sure to subscribe. Digital Poker Felt when you're leaving the comments. Now this is the type of hand maybe he had on the button. Or now he's holding a button again. Unfamiliar with the game, if you have 3 of a kind in your hand, since you have to use 2 in your hand, 3 on the board, you really don't want to play a set in your hand. For the simple fact that you're drawing thin, you're going to have to hit that case card to actually make a set on the flop, turn, or river. You know one of the cards is never coming because it's in your hand with it, with the other 2. Pair, low draw, backdoor flush. Backdoor Broadway? One pair of 10s? He had aces and 9s. It looked pretty. Alright, let's start raising on the button. Probably should have been doing this from the get-go. Was going to bluff there, but no. Pair of deuces. Mathematically, I probably should have pulled the trigger there. Tried to bluff it, but again, I don't feel he's bluffable. And I pegged him as the worst player. Alright, let's go nuts. I don't think I've raised out of position this whole time. Alright, low draw and a set. Let's make it happen. Maybe this dog has a chance to hunt. I'm back in it. There we go. Keep healing me up. And I will take walks all day long from your button. Bad low draw. We got a high draw. And we got there. But we didn't build the pot. Wah wah. What kind of hand is he looking for on the button to take me out? Or does he think I'm going to hang myself by playing my button too often? I've got a 7-5 for the low. My pair of fours is what won that for me. I won the high. Alright, two pair of 10s and 7s. And I've got the low. An 8-7 for the low. He could have the low. Alright, let's just check it, make it look like we're giving up. He bets pot, so he must have just the low. No, he's got a straight too. And we're back on life support. Raise it up with a crappy low. Watch your language on the video channel. And the 4 comes in for us. I'm going to build that pot while I have it. I just need to pull that trigger when I'm on a bluff too, because look at that, he folded to a pot-sized bet. I don't think the 10s are going to do it for me here. Maybe if I catch another 8 on the river. No, we let him catch up on the river. Double suited low. Back door. pot on the back door. So, very unlikely for him to have the ace deuce here. We got the 7. We got the 8. Possible straight out there now. And we do not have the low because we're counterfeited. Let's not go crazy with this hand yet. Thought he would at least have some kind of low possibility to call me there. But I guess if he did, his low would have been much better than my low. We at least have a low draw now. No, we do not. Flush, Broadway, 2-pair. Our jack is good. Maybe he was just trying to back into a low. I'm sorry if I'm just rambling. I'm kind of talking not just to you, but kind of out loud to myself at this point. Trying to figure out what I was going to say these players. It's down to this player. While I'm rambling, make sure to click on the subscribe and notifications if you so choose. And please leave us a comment. Leave us. It's me. Leave me a comment down below. Whether it's one of your own bad beat stories, some exciting tournament coming up near or around you. Should I chase? Let's take one off. Even though there's 3 clubs out there. That card has to scare him for a full house unless he has it. Quit chasing the straight when there's a flush and a full house out there. Let's pop this one up. We got the ace-3 draw. See if he'll chase another half pot bet. With the flush draw to go with it, we got a straight draw. Let's be chicken and take that. What could he have here? King, queen. 7. I've got the queen though. 2-pair. Well, it doesn't matter, all I have is ace high. The low didn't get there. Again, do or die. Now's the time. Ace deuce, don't leave home without it. Let's go crazy. Try and get as many chips in as possible. Let's push it. If he doesn't call, we're back up to 42. He calls, we're back up to 6. Nope. We chop it up, I'm back to 3. Alright, let's push it again. I guess just outright aggression. I gotta bring a sledgehammer to this fight. push it and get lucky. Will he call? Yes. Kind of eight's still only good for half a pot. One of these days he's gonna heal me up. He's got the 9. Nope. Alright, that does it. We're out in second. For our $5 entry, we won $13.50. So actually made some money for a change on this video series. Again, I appreciate you watching the video and especially staying this long. I'm Fingers. Make sure to share us on your Facebook or whatever social media. Share it out to all your other friends that are into poker. Hopefully they can become part of the Digital Poker Felt tribe also. They can leave their comments, they can subscribe, click the notifications, do all that kind of stuff. Again, come on back next time we have a video. And we also started a Facebook page, so make sure to look for us there and like us. Hopefully we can share. I did share an image of myself right before the horse tournament, so you can see how I look like a horse thief right before going into the horse tournament. That's on Facebook, so make sure to like, follow, or whatever the button smashing options are there. And hopefully I'll get around to making more of these videos in a more timely fashion. Sorry for the delay. Thank you for spending your day, this hour, or however long this has been. Thank you for spending it with me. I really appreciate it. Send me your comments. You could probably DM or do something like that. I'm much more open to the open discussion right there, so we can share it like a community, like we are, the Digital Poker Tribe. Thank you, guys.